Hello and welcome to another Flashpoint Campaigns Red Storm gameplay video. We're playing the Hell on Wheels campaign, Scenario 5, Battle Royal, and this is Part 5. Sometime soon, I'm hoping that we'll see the decisive moment in this, either because because of the Soviets bust my chops with these guys crossing into the promised land of victory points, or because the attacking M1s here are going to bust heads hard enough to break the Soviets. Seems that we both have thrown hard rights, and so far you can see that we've dealt with this pretty well. And this attack is still there, but that's not too impressive. That came out of nowhere, but I think this guy will beat them up. And we have this silly reconnaissance fling that I've had. If there's a couple of companies of tanks there, there's another company or more. There's an armor battalion up in there, at least. It might be supported by something else. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, if they were there, they probably could be seen. Here, here, here. You know, they're in here somewhere. Just for fun and to blow things up, we're going to hit that hex with ICM from all three artillery units, and then let the AI take over the artillery from there. I've adjusted this guy's pathing to avoid driving right through the BMPs. They shoot them up as they go by, I hope. And these guys, I've adjusted their route to run up into there. And these guys are still doing their thing and probably ought to be adjusted. Now that I look at it, I'm not sure what the heck am I thinking. We're having fun clicking. Okay, let's find a non-headquarters. Okay, so just for grins, we could take them that way, right? But I think that, that, and that's the headquarters. Something like that. Moving this way, assuming they survive driving through here. Right now, the visibility is rather limited, 1,500 meters in haze and fog. Not real sure what we're going to bump into in there. Once again, trying to utilize my attack helicopters, getting them over here in a position, and really and truly, I think maybe that's a better place for them. I think the Death Stars will probably shoot them down. But they're in good shape, relatively speaking. 30% readiness, 99% ammo. They've been getting shot to pieces. Well, anyway, here we are 4 minutes in. If you've been following along, then there's really not a lot more I can tell you about this. This is either a brilliant plan of mine or one that I'm fixing to be scratching my head over. I really think this reserve company should have been a cross-attached armored company from the 2nd of the 66th, and that perhaps this armored company sitting here as a base of fire ought to be a mech infantry company as a base of fire. I think it would have handled, well, maybe not. It might not have handled this attack as well. I don't know. I didn't do it. A replay might help figure it out a little bit, but at the same time, a replay would have the distortion of knowing what the AI is up to. And although I've seen the AI vary its plan, excuse me, and for example, and I don't mean in this game, but it's, you know, instead of an attack through there, it might attack through here. It might do something like that, or this attack, instead of going in here, might have gone in here, or gone in down there. But I suspect when you play this again that you will see, you know, this, or that every time. You probably see something like this every time. So there you go. That takes the surprise out of it. All right, we're at 5.5 minutes. I've talked enough. It's 12:07 a.m. on an evening when I have a 5 o'clock wake-up call. You know, I love me some gaming. Let's hit the start button. And putting the hurt on the BMPs. That's some serious hurt on them. Whoa, yeah. Okay. Now that's killing some commies. It puts in mind some songs from my youth. Old Tom Lear song. So long, Mom, I'm off to drop a bomb. Oh, wait a minute. What am I thinking? Never mind. Note to self, do not sing on YouTube videos. I'm just a child of the 70s. Okay, well, I wanted to go around them, but they charged in the midst of me. And we just went to 2,000 meter visibility, and look what we see when that happens. Ding. A lot of soft targets, that's good. Not particularly happy about these guys mixing it up with the mech infantry. More mech infantry, that's interesting. These guys are still having it out of the platoon or so worth of T-80s in front of that company's positions. On balance, I'd rather not be the T-80s. This is, and as soon as I say that, they charge into that platoon position. Yeah, this is exciting. We need some artillery. Thump. This has been a charnel house in here. Can you imagine the burning vehicles, the dead, the wounded, just fun to play with paper, cardboard, or ones and zeros, but the reality of what that's representing would be just unbelievable. Meanwhile, I happily go back and watch these guys, little digital warriors, kill hell out of each other. Okay, well, you know, kill that utility vehicle. It's you got infantry in and among you, but I'd kill that utility vehicle if I were you. BRDM 3s or something. It's been a long time since I cared. Missile launching knuckleheads. Okay, here we go. I see him. Make my day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. 7, 8, 9. 10. Well, we killed the company. That's oh, hey. Sir, the enemy has suffered losses exceeding 70% and reorganizing on the battlefield. Huh, the battle could be over. 88% rating, decisive success if game ends now. Where is 2511? Control will pass to me. I don't know if you can see that, but it's here. Ding. Here, let's make it flash again. There. 3414. Oh, I get possession of that. Yeah, you know what? 52 units with 204 sub-units in range. Effective unit influence is 28, 723. So all these guys in here are much stronger than what they have. That's nice. 802, contested. Yeah, that's a lot of guys here. 704 we keep. 802 is contested. 3514, 3423, 2722, 2614, 2511. Nice. Okay. It's a decision to be made here whether to continue to fight. To continue to fight, you have to play 2/3 of the full 8 hours. Excuse me. 9 hours. So I'd have to play another 4 hours worth, at least another 8 command cycles. And I think this has shown me all I need to know about the scenario and about the campaign. So I think what I'm going to do is end the game now with a decisive success. It doesn't get any better than that in this scenario, and I don't think improving my position will improve my overall campaign rating yet, because I had if I recall correctly, a marginal success for the first scenario, which is probably going to seriously weight the end results. Let's just end it. Okay, I can browse all units. That's actually interesting. 2, Commanding General, Hell on Wheels. You won 150,674 cumulative victory points, completing 5 out of 5 battles in 74 hours. Also, you personally survived the battle. Well, I know people who might contest whether well, anyway, let's not get into that. The overall success, your average outcome, tactical success. So I had a marginal, a tactical, and 3 decisives. Just between us girls, the first scenario was a tough one. Scenario 2 was, scenario 3 and 4 were just not hard. And this one had the potential to blow up in my face, but it turns out okay. And we killed 99 reconnaissance, 19 helicopters, 725 tanks, 566 APCs. Okay, that's just a lot of stuff. Unrecoverable lifetime losses of 21 reconnaissance, 18 tanks, 54 APCs, 36 infantry, 7 headquarters, and 8 air defense. Accumulated 130 medals for heroism and 6 medals for valor. Well, okay. If I remember right, you get to see that stuff in here somewhere. Although that isn't it. 88% rating, which is just a decisive success. Reported kills and claims. $79 fallen out. Maybe half of that really happened in this scenario. Maybe a little more. 14 killed. We killed 108 tanks, 176 mech, 154 infantry, and a lot of other stuff for almost 600 steps killed. Look, 2 citations for effectiveness. Citations for effectiveness. 4th Platoon, D Company, 4th Battalion, 41st Infantry, award for valor and sacrifice. 4D4. I wonder if I can find them. Headquarters D. That's well, I would think it'd be right there. What am I missing? 3D4, 41st Infantry Regiment. What am I missing? You know, I'm not sure. Ah, there it is. There's a tank platoon, which had 3 vehicles fall out, 5 tanks, 2 mechs, 3 infantry, 2 headquarters, 13 kills. Huh. You know, I don't think I've ever looked at this very close. More effectiveness. Section C, 2nd Battalion. Here, Valor and Sacrifice. No, that's not them. Well, anyway, I sit here and stare at this all day long, and it's not very exciting. So let's take a look at the battlefield. Yeah, that was every bit of a armor battalion. Every bit of it. 3 tank companies, company of mech, supporting air defense. That was ugly. What would we have left here? What was really here? Ooh, there's still 6 tanks in here. Excuse me. That was pretty substantial. These look like headquarters. They are. Battle Group Red Storm. Okay, 197th Guard Tanks Regiment. Boy, look at the headquarters all up in here. And for the most part, they were untouched. In fact, they were untouched. And those guys are what, 152s? Yeah, they were happy. Another headquarters. More 152s. 8-inch. Nice. 8-inch guns. Hey, you know what? We got a piece of that one. Well, anyway, here we are at 18 minutes in. BDRM2s. That's an anti-tank company rolling along. These guys are 152 millimeter self-propelled. They got shot up back here. This was a hard place for them. Yeah, there was more here than I saw, but I think on balance these guys would have tore them up, although I think this guy's, come on, work with me. I think these guys would have seen more trouble on their way through than I anticipated. Anyway, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Gee whiz, that's 5 campaign scenarios. Thoughts about the whole thing? It's a good game. It's a really good game. Are there bits of it that irritate me? Yeah. I don't like the flying T-80s and the Mi-24s. Whether that's accurate or not really has nothing to do with it. I don't like the damn things. I'm not sure how to use the AH-1s and reconnaissance helicopters to any effect, because things like this guy right here and all his buddies are just unbelievably effective we were seeing helicopters getting shot down here from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kilometers away, sometimes 10 when it, shot from over in this direction. Yeah, this is flat terrain in there, but for God's sake, are these guys flying at 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet? These helicopters, or are they nap of the earth? I've had somebody in comments suggest I fly nap of the earth. I haven't figured out how to force that issue. I find that irritating that I don't know how to deal with it. Not that it's any kind of a game killer. It's not. It's in fact, if it was explained to me, um, excuse me, a bit more rigorously, maybe if I go read the manual, would that be something I'd understand? Speaking of which, look at all the bridging they did. They didn't cross here and go across. They just bridged all over the place. That's fascinating. One thing I believe at this point, when I first started playing, I thought this was a really big deal. And you know what? Now that I see these command cycles, look how they were dropping for the Soviets, staying high and getting higher a little bit for NATO. The Soviets were actually dropping after taking that kind of damage. Now, is that significant? Yeah, that kind of explains, or it might. No, I don't know. If you look back here, it's kind of even. I don't know. This might explain that there's just nothing left. I don't know. What I was starting to say was, when I first started playing the game, when it was first released, I remember watching it very carefully and feeling like it really, really mattered. Perhaps it's just the scale of the scenario that here and I've been playing, but the way the movement delays have been dialed up for units that are holding, or once they stop moving, maybe I should say not on-call units, and I say that only because on-call says they're ready for relatively quick movement. It's gotten to the point that I just haven't paid attention to that, and I don't feel like it's mattered to my gameplay. Um, that's very subjective, and I can't say anything about it except that's how it feels. Um, Perhaps I need to back up and play some of the smaller scenarios again, and see how it affects me there when I'm not thinking in terms of battalions and a relatively large battle like this. Anyway, bottom line, I'd buy it again. Um, I think the next game's Southern Front. I'll buy it. Uh, I've kind of griped a few places. I've scratched my head in more than a few, but that really has that on balance. Maybe I should put it this way: on balance, good game, fun game, uh, instructive, and it keeps you thinking. So, if it's at all possible that you've watched all these videos and still don't own this game, well, I don't get it. Why would you spend all that time? Go buy it. And if you do, well, if you do own it, well, here we are, brothers in the digital warriors. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this campaign playthrough of, golly, must be 30 videos. I don't know. I don't know exactly how many. It's a lot. It's a lot of videos. If you've enjoyed the campaign playthrough, subscribe. I will be doing more of this. Maybe some more with Flashpoint Campaigns. I kind of like a little variation in my gaming. I may switch off to something completely unrelated and do some videos on some other things I want to mess with. But subscribe. That'd be a nice thing. Keep up with what I'm up to. If if that's something you'd like to do, and post post a comment, share this with your friends, and do remember, I appreciate the time you've taken. We'll see you online.